WWE has finally did it. They finally did it with Jade Cargill. After months of me coming onto this YouTube channel and ranting and raving, they finally did it. They finally did something right with Jade Cargill, and it all happened on the October 24th episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Now, for months, WWE has been building towards this moment, or at least it was something in which I had hoped that they were building for this moment, because they had told us for months and months and months, Jade Cargill is the future. Jade Cargill is going to be a women's champion, yet they continuously book Jade Cargill in some ridiculous spots, having her lose consistently to Tiffany Stratton. And keep in mind that WWE had led us to believe, after her coming back from injury, picking up 2 straight massive wins over Naomi, beating Asuka in the Queen of the Ring tournament to earn a championship match at SummerSlam, going on and challenging Tiffany Stratton for said championship, only to lose. Well, it threw us all into chaos because we thought Jade Cargill was on her way to becoming a main eventer and becoming our next women's champion. That was not the case. However, October 24th, episode of SmackDown, not only did WWE do one of the best angles in recent memory, but they also got the world talking, and they got the world talking about Jade Cargill, and it's exactly what Jade needed. So as we all know, Jade Cargill, she's been watching for a while, but she was watching from the back, and she saw that Tiffany Stratton was going to be beaten down, and she was beaten down by our women's U.S. champion, Julia, and Kiana James. And so what did WWE do? They had Jade Cargill come out there and make the save for Tiffany Stratton. And everyone thought, okay, this is a feel-good moment, two baby faces. Jade, even though she's had this respectful love-hate relationship with Tiffany Stratton, she wants something that Tiffany has. Yes, she just can't get the job done and beat her for the championship. Hey, at least she has the mutual respect for Tiffany to come out there and make the save for her as she tries to vie for a 4th championship match. And what does WWE do? Well, they have Jade Cargill go out there and absolutely turn heel and destroy Tiffany Stratton, okay? And she laid her out in a very vicious way, right? She raised the hand of Tiffany Stratton, and then she blasted her with a clothesline, stopping her leg on the steel steps in an absolute vicious and shocking heel turn that has set the internet ablaze. Everyone has finally realized, oh yeah, probably this should have happened a long time ago, and they're absolutely right. Now in the backstage area, after the angle, Jade was walking through Gorilla, and she was in the backstage, and they caught up with her. The cameras did, and she said that the only mistake that she was making was that the world rewards patience. It rewards power, she said, right? And so I look at this angle and I go, this is exactly what Jade needed. Coming out of SummerSlam, I pushed for WWE to turn heel with Jade Cargill, and they didn't do it. When they went to a no contest last month on an episode of SmackDown, I pushed WWE to turn Jade Cargill heel, and they didn't do it. And then finally in that epic, horrendous triple threat match with Nia Jax, where they had Jade Cargill busted open and they had all the botches, I pushed for WWE to turn Jade Cargill heel, and they didn't do it. But Jade was going to be sidelined, right? Because she had a freaking gash on her head. And so WWE opted, okay, we're going to keep Jade off of television, and we're going to finally turn her heel. And that's exactly what they did. And I absolutely love it. I think in a lot of ways, and when they started to kind of redo this feud again, it was like, wait a minute. You won't book a 4th match if you don't intend to put the title on Jade Cargill in the 4th match. Now, do I agree with the fact that they had to wait and do 4 matches to do so? No, I think they should have put the title on Jade at SummerSlam if you were going to do a title change, right? Because it really watered down Jade. She's not as strong as she was until this angle. This angle put as much momentum as she once had back into the focus. She has as much attention on herself as she used to. And I think she's going to become our next women's champion. I think WWE had a situation where they had a little bit of cold feet with Jade Cargill going into SummerSlam. They really didn't have anything lined up for Tiffany. They didn't have anything lined up for Jade coming out of SummerSlam. And so they just kept the title on Tiffany. And they're like, well, we'll just go back to the well over and over and over again until we have something lined up for either of these two. Now, I don't agree with that philosophy, but I think that's what they ultimately did. And I think if we are going to get to the path where, okay, Jade is now this epic heel, this vicious heel, and she's going to become champion, I think that's right on the money. And I think WWE is doing the right thing with her. So let me know in the comments there below what you guys think about Jade Cargill's heel turn. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I think that they crushed it. I really, really do. I'm really happy with what they're doing with Jade right now, and I look forward to not only seeing what happens at Saturday Night's main event, but I also look forward to seeing what they do. Okay, what is Jade's championship reign going to look like? What is her first opponent going to look like? What is Tiffany Stratton going to do? She did such an epic job as women's champion. There's so many different layers. There's so many different intrigues. There's so many different questions. And as time goes on, as we head into Survivor Series, those questions are ultimately going to get answered.